He texted me 14 times in 2 hours, and I read every single one sitting in a Target parking lot, engine off, too afraid to call him back. The yellow lights from the Target parking lot turn the painted lines green through the water. My phone is face up on the passenger seat. It has 14 text messages on it from Aaron. They came in over the last 2 hours. I have read every one. I have not answered any. The most recent message came in 3 minutes ago. Just tell me you're safe. I'm losing my mind here. I read it again. I try to feel touched. For almost a year, I have been telling myself, I feel touched when he sends messages like this. Tonight, for the first time, something else is sitting behind my ribs. It is tight and a little sour. I don't have a word for it yet. I turn the phone face down. It lands on the paper bag of cold General Tso's chicken from the Chinese place on Lorraine Road. The bag has gone soft from grease. There are dark, wet patches on it where the oil has soaked through. I haven't touched the food the whole drive over. I couldn't say why I was coming to Target. I never even went inside. 3 years ago, I had a small fender bender on I-480. Just a tap, really. My front bumper went into the back of a minivan. I sat in the driver's seat and cried because I could not think of one person to call. Aaron showed up. He was the EMT. He didn't lecture me. He didn't tell me to calm down. He sat down on the bumper of the ambulance and said, "Take your time. There's no clock on this." When I finally stopped shaking, he stood up. He pulled me into a hug. He held me close. I remember thinking, this is the safest I have felt in years. The phone lights up again, a FaceTime request from Aaron. I let it ring out. He tries again. I let it ring out a second time. My chest tightens harder, and I see something I have been pushing away for a long time. I am not ignoring his call because I am busy. I am ignoring it because I am afraid to pick up. I think to myself, if a student told me what I just told myself, I would already have a plan ready for her. I am a school counselor. I have helped 16-year-old girls walk out of situations like this. I know the words: hypervigilance, anxious attachment, coercive control. But when I try to use those words on my own life, my brain goes blank. It hands me a different word instead. Love. I want a tissue. The glove box has a pack of napkins from Wendy's, an old registration paper, and something black sitting on top of the napkins, smooth, round, about the size of a poker chip. I pick it up. The shape is new to my hand. I turn it over in my fingers. It is an Apple AirTag. The little white sticker on the back tells me the battery is fresh. I press it. It makes a tiny sound, like a quiet bell. My stomach drops. Aaron uses an AirTag for his work bag. I know this. I have seen the app on his phone. He says the EMT shifts are long and he loses track of his stuff. That always made sense to me. I sit there. The AirTag stays in my hand. The thing does not go back in the glove box. The thing does not come inside Target with me. I just hold it and stare at the rain on the windshield. A question that has been pushing at me for months finally pushes through. How long? How long has this been in my car? How long has he been able to see exactly where I am? How long have I let myself not know? The phone rings again on the seat next to me, face down on the cold takeout. I don't move. Melted butter. That's the smell where this part starts. It was a Saturday morning. 8 months into us, Aaron was at the stove in boxer shorts. He was making me pancakes shaped like hearts. He cut a corner off a milk carton to use as a stencil, and he poured the batter through the slot. They came out lopsided. One side of each heart was bigger than the other, like a real heart on an X-ray. The edges were a little burnt. Butter pooled in the middle and slid down the sides like something melting open. I leaned against the doorway in his oversized t-shirt. I called the pancakes thoughtful. Later that afternoon, I told my sister about it on the phone. I used the word thoughtful twice. Aaron noticed things. He noticed that my left shoulder hurt when it was about to rain. He knew I took my coffee with 1.5 sugars. Never 2, never 1. He called me at 11 a.m. just to say he was thinking about me. He picked me up from work in the rain, even on the days when I had my own car parked right outside. My coworkers told me I was lucky. She divorced my father 10 years before all of this and didn't trust any man on the planet. Even she said, "Deborah, this one is different." I wanted to believe her so badly. He moved in with me at 4 months. He suggested it on a Wednesday night. I laughed. Then I realized he wasn't joking. The timing felt too fast to me. I said yes anyway, because saying no felt rude and small. After he moved in, I couldn't quite explain why I felt off. The apartment was the same. He brought a new espresso machine and set it up in the kitchen. He bought groceries every week and didn't ask me to split it. His name was not on my lease. He paid for groceries instead, but he kept score in a quiet way. If I bought a new pair of jeans, 3 days later he would say, "I just spent $200 on chicken and salmon, you know." He always said it like a joke. I always laughed. Then there was the credit card. My Capital One had a $2,400 balance on it. Aaron paid it off without telling me. He sent me the confirmation screenshot at lunch and wrote, "Don't even worry about it." "We're a team," I cried. From the school parking lot, I called him to say thank you. After that, every small thing I bought felt like I owed him something. I started checking with him before I bought a cardigan at Target. I told myself this was being respectful. For our 1-year anniversary, he took me to Olive Garden. The bill came to $87 with 2 glasses of house red. Our waiter was a friendly guy in his 20s. He laughed at one of my jokes when I ordered the chicken parm. Aaron didn't say anything. He smiled. He paid the check. In the car, on the drive home, he was silent for 10 minutes. I kept asking what was wrong. Finally, at a red light on Detroit Avenue, he said, "I just hate the way men look at you. I hate that I have to share you with the world." He said it like a love confession. I filed it under love confession. Sometimes at night, I would think about being 15, my mother on the kitchen floor, sobbing, my father standing in the doorway with one suitcase. He told her, "You suffocated me, Linda." That was the last thing he said. Then the front door closed. My mother was a Linda, the woman my father said suffocated him. When Aaron said, "I love you so much I get worried," I heard the opposite of suffocating. I heard wanted. He filled out the workers' comp paperwork from my old fender bender for me. He said it was to take it off my plate. I kept putting it off for months. He printed the forms, signed where I was supposed to sign, and I just initialed at the bottom, the pages I never even read. He worked 3 12-hour shifts a week. The other 4 days, he was home with me. I told myself this was good. In bed one night, near the end of the 2nd year, he pulled me against him. He wrapped his arm tight around my waist. He whispered into my hair, "I never want to let you go." "Me neither," I said. He fell asleep within 5 minutes. He always fell asleep first, after he held me. I lay there in the dark. His arm was heavy on my ribs. I tried to take a full breath, and I couldn't. I tried again. Still couldn't, not all the way. The angle, I told myself. In a minute I would shift, and it would be fine. I lay awake until the sky outside the window went from black to a dirty gray. Soft, thick fluttering against glass. That was the sound that woke me up to what was happening. A monarch butterfly was in our living room. I cracked the patio door open earlier to water the plants on the balcony. The butterfly flew in. Now it was beating itself against the closed glass of the bay window. It left small, soft smudges of dust shaped like tiny hands. I went to open the window. My hand was on the crank. From the couch, Aaron said, in a calm and pleasant voice, "Babe, just wait until I get home tonight. I'll handle it. You always panic with bugs." He went back to scrolling on his phone. I froze. My hand was still on the crank. The butterfly hit the glass again. Its wings sounded dry and thin. I sat down on the kitchen floor. The work clothes were still on me. I watched the butterfly beat itself against a window I was not opening. I sat there until I had to leave for school. The window stayed closed. That was a Tuesday. I started to notice things. He called me every weekday at 12:15 p.m., my lunch break. If I missed 2 calls in a row, he would text my supervisor at the school district, friendly, public, mortifying messages. "Hey Karen, just checking that Deborah got there safe today. Sorry to bug you." Karen forwarded me the texts with a little smiley face. I would laugh in the office and feel like I was going to throw up. He was also managing my anxiety medication. My Lexapro bottle sat on his nightstand, not mine. He handed me a pill every morning with breakfast. Originally, I thought this was helpful. Money moved between our accounts in small amounts. When I asked, he laughed and said, "Deborah, we're a team. I'm building our future. Don't make this weird." I didn't make it weird. I was a school counselor. I knew what these things were. The pamphlets in my office binder listed every one of them. A girl came into my office in October. Her name was Gabriella. She was 15. Her boyfriend tracked her location and threw a tantrum if she didn't reply within 10 minutes. She sat in the chair across from me with her hands shaking. I gave her tissues. She talked through tears for 40 minutes. My notes filled half a legal pad. I gave her the right phone numbers and walked her through every red flag with calm, professional clarity. After she left, I closed my office door. The chair at my desk swallowed me. There were 6 unread messages from Aaron on my phone. I told myself the difference between Gabriella and me was trust. That I trusted Aaron and Gabriella could not trust her boyfriend. I did not believe that lie, but I believed it enough to keep going. I started using clinical words against myself. His attachment style, his childhood, his nervous system. Every framing made him the patient. Then I would lie in bed and watch the ceiling. That Friday, the AirTag turned up in my purse for the first time. I didn't confront him. My excuse to myself was that I needed time to think. The little black disc went into the glove box of my Civic, so I would know where it was at all times. That night, I made his pasta with the sauce he liked. I asked about his shift. After he fell asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop. I typed Olivia Castellano into the search bar. He mentioned her name twice in 2.5 years. Both times, he was brief. Both times, he gave a little wave of his hand. Oh, Olivia, a girl I dated before nursing school. Things ended badly. The first result was an obituary from 4 years ago. Olivia Castellano, 29, of Parma, Ohio, survived by her sister, Julie. The cause of death was not listed. I have worked with enough families to know what that usually means. I sat there in the blue glow of the laptop. Aaron was snoring 3 feet away, one arm flung over the pillow where my head was supposed to be. I read the obituary again. Then I read it a third time. My hands were not shaking. That was the part that scared me. Mrs. Whitfield? I looked up from my laptop. The woman standing at my table was in her late 20s. Dark hair tied back, no makeup, a Trader Joe's tote bag still on her shoulder. There were grocery receipts sticking out of the top. You probably don't remember me. I was at Roosevelt Middle School. You were my counselor in 7th grade. After my dad, you were really kind to me. It was Julie Castellano, Olivia's little sister. She was 26 now. She was the reason I was sitting in a coffee shop in a Trader Joe's plaza on a Wednesday afternoon. The night before, I found her on Facebook and sent her a message that just said, "Can we talk?" I told myself, while typing it, that I just wanted to know how Olivia died. That was a lie. I knew. The truth needed someone to say it out loud. Julie sat down across from me. She didn't order anything. My latte was on the table between us. It was going cold. The barista had drawn a heart in the foam. The heart was collapsing in on itself, dissolving into the brown. "I almost didn't come," Julie said. She looked at the table. I went back and forth all morning. Then she looked up. "How long have you been with him?" 2.5 years. She nodded. She closed her eyes for a second. "I'm so sorry," I said. "About your sister." "Yeah." We sat there for a minute. I didn't know how to start. She started for me. She told me Olivia met Aaron when Olivia was 26 and Aaron was 33. A car hit Olivia when she was crossing Mayfield Road as a pedestrian. Aaron was the EMT in training in the ambulance. He held her hand. He sent flowers to her hospital room. She told everyone he was the kindest man on the planet. They moved in together at 5 months. He paid off her debts. He took calls from her boss when she was tired. He told her that her mother was intense. Slowly, he suggested they spend less time with her. Olivia stopped seeing her therapist of 3 years because Aaron felt the therapist didn't understand them as a couple. I sat there. Every sentence Julie spoke landed in my chest. Julie pulled out her phone. "I want to show you something." She slid the phone across the table. It was a screenshot of an email. This was from him to her 3 weeks before she died. I read it. "Baby, I know you're struggling. I'll always be here, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try to push me away. I'll never let you go. You're mine. I've got you." I read it twice. Something cold slid down my back, slow, careful. Aaron has used that exact phrasing on me at least a dozen times. I've got you. He whispered it into my hair when I was upset about work. He texted it to me when I had a bad day with my mother. The screenshots are still on my phone because I thought those messages were beautiful. She tried to break up with him in March, Julie said. Her voice was very flat. He showed up at her work twice. The HR lady told her to take leave for her own safety. He convinced her she was overreacting. She didn't try again. I made myself ask the question. Did he? I couldn't finish it. No, Julie said. He didn't push her. She just stopped fighting back. I sat there in a coffee shop in a Trader Joe's plaza with a cold latte and a young woman who used to be the 7th grader I once comforted after her father walked out, and the sentence inside my own head finally got to leave my head. For almost a year, I refused to let myself think it. Now, I let myself think it. That is what he is doing to me. Julie looked at me like she already knew. I tried to warn 2 of his other girlfriends after Olivia, she said. One blocked me. The other one told him about me. I came home from work one day, and there was a dead bird on my porch, just laid there. He snapped its neck. She picked at the corner of her receipt. There was a small white scar across the back of her right hand. The story behind it I did not ask. I drove home that night with my hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel. Aaron was on shift until 6 a.m. I had 6 hours. Here is the part of the story where I am supposed to tell you I did the brave thing. I did not. As a school counselor, I have walked dozens of women through this exact situation. I know the right answer. You make a plan. You tell someone. You call the hotline. You do not just run. I did none of those things. I moved around the apartment quietly and methodically. I packed one duffel bag, my social security card, my grandmother's ring, the cash I was hiding in a tampon box at the back of the bathroom cabinet, $1,200 saved over a year, my laptop, 3 changes of clothes, my passport. The phone stayed on the kitchen counter, screen up, because I knew about the AirTag in my glove box, and I was not sure if there were others. There was no letter. 3 words on the back of a Walmart receipt was all I left. The receipt sat on the kitchen counter next to my phone. I am safe. I underlined safe twice. The drive to the Hampton Inn, off I-71, took 20 minutes. I paid cash for 2 nights. The room had a flat white ceiling I could not stop staring at. I sat on the bed in my coat with the bag at my feet, and I did not cry. My thumbnail picked at the seam on the bedspread. The same thought kept running in my head. He will know within an hour. He will call the police. The front desk phone rang at 4:14 a.m. Ma'am, there are 2 officers here from Cleveland PD. They'd like to speak with you. I went down to the lobby. The coat stayed on the bed. The 2 officers were standing near the lobby coffee station. One was a woman with short hair and kind eyes, maybe 50 years old. The other was a younger man with a thin mustache. He was looking at me the way you look at someone who has been caught lying. Aaron filed a missing person report. He told them I had severe mental health issues. He told them I recently went off my medication. The photo he gave them was from last year's Christmas. He told the dispatcher he was worried, and he asked for a wellness check. He was not violent. He was concerned. That was the trap. The whole town would see a worried boyfriend and a mentally ill girlfriend who ran. I'm fine, I said. My voice was very quiet. "I just left my relationship. I'm not in crisis." The kind officer nodded slowly. The other one kept looking at me. He said, "Ma'am, can you tell us what medication you're on?" It cost me everything. I did not go back to my job at the school district. The missing person call put me on administrative leave. By the time HR pieced together what was happening, the damage was done. Aaron called and texted my supervisor for months as the concerned partner. He built a quiet paper trail of my supposed instability. Parents heard something through the grapevine. 2 parents asked for their kids to be moved to the other counselor. I took the leave of absence. After that, I never went back. At night, my body could not sleep when my head was thinking about walking into that building again. I was 41 days from being vested in my state pension. The pension stayed on the table. A 1-bedroom apartment in Tremont became my new home. Rent was $1,650 a month. It was more than I could afford. The bathroom had a slow drip in the shower, and the landlord was not interested in fixing it. My credit score was 740 the morning I left the apartment in Lakewood. 3 weeks later, it was 612. Aaron called Capital One that first morning and disputed my last 6 months of charges as fraudulent. It took me 4 months to fix it. I was on hold with the dispute department of my own bank for hours at a time. For a while, I lived on $73 a week of food stamps and the $8,000 my grandmother left me. My mother wired the $8,000 into my account a week after I left. She didn't ask one question. To this day, I have not told her the whole story. I think she knows enough. Aaron did not stalk me in the legal sense. He posted twice on Facebook, long, soft updates about how the love of his life was going through something hard, about how he was holding her in his prayers, about how he just hoped she was safe out there. Mutual friends checked on him. Some of them checked on me too, a little suspicious. 2 of them believed me. Most did not know what to think. Over time, they stopped reaching out. I lost more friends than I expected. I do not blame them, not entirely. Aaron is good at this. He has been doing it for years. The shape of what it really is, I only just figured out. I had to file a restraining order to make him stop showing up at the edges of my life. The hearing was in March. He came to court in a soft blue button-down shirt. He looked calm and a little sad. He cried on the stand. He told the judge, "I just want her to be okay." The order was granted, but not because of how I told my story. It was granted because Julie Castellano flew in from Columbus to testify about Olivia, and because my lawyer, a paralegal who went back to law school in her 40s and now took cases at sliding scale fees, built a quiet, devastating timeline of dates and bank transfers and text messages. The judge did not lecture Aaron. The judge just looked tired. A year out, I rent one office, 2 days a week, in a converted Victorian house on West 25th Street. The waiting room has 3 chairs and a fake fern. The fern is missing 1 leaf on purpose. I pulled it off in week 3 when I was nervous about my 3rd client. After that, I kept pulling at the gap whenever I got nervous, and now the gap stays as a reminder. The sign on my door says Deborah Whitfield, LPC. I look at the LPC every morning when I unlock the door. Some days I still don't believe it. I specialize in coercive control survivors. I had to. It was the only way I could fill a caseload fast enough to pay rent. Most of my clients pay through Medicaid or sliding scale. I make about a third of what I made at the school. On the days I am being honest with myself, I am more useful now than I have ever been. I haven't dated. My therapist hasn't suggested I should. Cross that bridge when you come to it, she says. I find that funny because that is exactly the kind of low-stakes idiom I use with my own clients when I don't have a better answer. His name is Mitchell. He is 42, a Cuyahoga County prosecutor who works domestic violence cases. He is not soft. He is sharp and a little sarcastic. He has the dry tiredness of people who deal with the courts every day. He met me professionally. I gave a deposition for one of his cases last spring, the Carrera deposition, and apparently I did fine. He didn't say so at the time. 6 months later, he ran into me at the West Side Market. The tomatoes were in my hand. Instead of being charming, he said, "You're the LPC from the Carrera case. You destroyed that defense attorney. I hated being on the other side of the room from you." We went for coffee. We did not hold hands across the table. He has a small white scar on the index finger of his right hand from a case file he closed too fast in 2019. He asks me hard questions. On our third coffee, he said, "Are you sure you want to be doing this work? Trauma-adjacent dating is a documented disaster pattern. You know that, right?" I bristled. Then I laughed. He sounded like my therapist, which I told him. "I'm friends with your therapist," he said. We argued briefly about whether that was a conflict of interest. Neither of us backed down. Neither of us was angry. He did not hold me close. Not for a long time. The first time he hugged me was 4 months in. He did it quickly, almost awkwardly. Then he stepped back, looked at me, and said, "I don't want to be another person who holds you too tight." I cried in my car for 20 minutes after he drove away. It was not the bad kind of crying. It is October now. My tiny apartment balcony in Tremont has me on it. My hands are wrapped around a cup of passion fruit tea. Mitchell loves it. I do not love it. He left a box of it at my place last week, and I have been drinking it every morning, slowly, trying to learn to like the slightly artificial sweetness. I have not got there yet. My phone buzzes on the patio table. It is a text from Julie. He just got engaged. New girl. Cleveland Heights. I stare at the words. I think about the new woman. Her name, I don't know. Whatever pancakes he is making for her, whatever debts he is paying off, whatever app he is setting up on her phone, none of it is in front of me. Somewhere in Cleveland Heights, she is calling something thoughtful right now, and she is using that word twice. I think about Olivia. I think about myself in the parking lot of a Target on a wet Tuesday night, 14 texts deep, holding a cold AirTag in my hand. I think about how close I came. How close. I think I should warn her tonight. Then I think I have warned 8 already this year. 8 is not nothing. I put the phone face down on the table. The new woman will not get a text from me tonight. Tomorrow, I will reach her through the right channels, the way I have been doing it, through my practice, through the Women's Resource Center on Detroit Avenue, through the quiet, slow network that exists because women like Julie built it 20 years before any of us needed it. I pick up the tea. The first sip is slightly sour and slightly sweet. I still don't love it. I drink it anyway.
I don't want to be another person who holds you too tight. I wasn't ready for that line. The AirTag in the glove box got me from the start. She knew. She put it somewhere she could see it. That's not denial. That's someone who buying herself time. 8 women won this year. 8. That's the whole ending right there. Did you see Michelle coming, or did he feel earned to you? I'm still deciding. So how about you tell